Okay.
What I'm doing now is cutting up garlic. I'm going to make some shrimp and scallop etouffee. And I'm using my new Kitsuki knife, and it goes through all, it trims like it's a hot knife going through butter. I mean, the other thing that a lot of people don't know is that once you just take a piece of garlic and you kind of cut it in chunks, and you can really mince it just by doing that, and it just gets everything, small. But since this is going to be an etouffee, it means it's going to be cooking for a little while, so I don't want to get a chunk too small, or else the flavor won't go into the dish as well as it should. And now we're going to put some onions in. This is actually an onion that I had already peeled, and we're going to attack that just like this. And it's real. You might notice how I'm holding the knife with the two fingers like that. It keeps the blade really, really steady. And this is a 9-inch Kitsuki knife, and it's really kind of razor sharp. It's interesting because it's a Japanese knife, but I actually bought it in Australia because online in Australia, because the online cost coming from Japan was almost $100 more versus coming from Australia. So I actually got a better deal by going to Australia and shopping on there. Actually, it was part of their Australian eBay, but I was able to find the merchant that sells them. So it just goes to show you what a small world it is. Or what I'm doing is just chopping up stuff and getting ready. Like I said before, I'm going to make some scallop shrimp etouffee, which is a combination that we hadn't done before. So that'll be interesting.
Show the scallops, Marshall.
The scallops. Here's the scallops and the shrimp. So I think that those are going to be really, really nice once it gets going. Now we're cutting these green onions, or some people call them shallots, but we're cutting green onions to go into this. And as you see, as I cut, it looks like I'm chopping, but I'm really not. I'm actually slicing, because the knife goes forward just ever so slightly. So look, if I was chopping, I'd be doing like that, and you'd hear that sound. But since I'm slicing, it looks like I'm chopping, but I'm actually slicing. And it goes right through, and it's better for your blade. Plus, it does a really good job. So,
Look over here and smile, Marshall.
chopping is actually mini slicing, is what I'm saying. So what we're doing now is we're preparing a etouffee dish, and it's actually the first time I'm ever going to do both shrimp and scallop etouffee. And etouffee in French means stew, so it actually is not a soup. It's a stew. And some people argue whether they cook their etouffee with a roux or not. I do. And essentially what we have here is the broth boiling and thickening it up, and all the different flavors get married. And after that, the last thing I'm going to do is put the seafood in, because we don't want to overcook the seafood. So right now, kind of the blending process is taking place. It's going to be good. Oh, also, we did some basmati rice, because if you're going to have etouffee, it has to go over rice. Okay, well, I just put the shrimp and the scallops in the etouffee. As you can see, these are really nice sized scallops. And the shrimp. See, there's your shrimp. Nice sized shrimp also. So, thing about this is that you want to make sure that you don't overcook your seafood. So the broth is already fully developed, and all the flavors that the broth could have, it actually has right now. What's going to happen is that there's going to be a flavor transfer between the fish and the scallops in the actual stew, and it'll blend into like a beautiful blend of. We're going to get paid for the energy that we've been spending putting this together. First, basmati rice. I love basmati rice primarily because basmati rice is very thirsty, so it loves gravy. Now we're going to go with the etouffee. Here. Put some scallops and some shrimp. I guess I could have took the top off for it to get a little thicker, but it's fine. So that's what it looks like. It's actually, I think it's going to taste better than it looks.